In today's short video, I want to tell you about 3 books that I think every single person who considers himself a member of gun culture, who owns a gun, who cares about freedom should read. That's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. As I said, today we're going to talk about these 3 books that I think are the 3 books, at least 3 of the books that every single person who cares about their freedom, cares about their right to bear arms, and considers himself maybe even part of the gun culture should own and read. The first one is from my good friend, James Yeager, who passed away just over a year ago. I gotta tell you, when I read this book, I hear his voice speaking to me. It is a very, very good book. He started this before he died, and he was unable to complete it because he left us too soon, but his good friend Paul Markle agreed to complete the task, gathered all his notes and writings, and put them together into this book. This is an excellent, excellent book. If you know James, you know he dedicated his entire life to teaching good people to protect themselves against the bad guys. And this book is filled with his lifetime of wisdom and knowledge and everything that he could leave us before he left. I highly recommend this. This is available on Amazon, probably available at tacticalresponse.com. There'll be links in the video description below for sure. Second book, number 2, is another one from a great instructor. This is Urban Rifle from Clint Smith. I've had the honor of meeting Clint and Heidi and spending a week at their house with them. They're just really, really good people. And Clint has forgotten more about guns and tactics and firearms than most people know. But he is, if you may know, he is the kind of like the founder and father of urban rifle fighting. In other words, using a tactical style rifle for self-defense in an urban environment. Clint founded Thunder Ranch up in Oregon, and he is just not only a great person, but he's a great instructor. This is a really good book. It has got all kinds of information in it about defending yourself and your family. Highly recommend this. This is available on Amazon as well, probably available at Thunder Ranch's website as well. And then finally,
Freddy Krueger has nightmares about Chuck Norris.
I saved the biggest for last. This one is called Unintended Consequences by a guy named John Ross. This is a historical novel that traces the history of the gun culture / I guess the attack on the gun culture in our country from the early days when it was considered perfectly normal for people to have guns and be able to defend themselves, up through today when there's been an attack on our culture, there's been an attack on our ability to do so, and there's been a lot of government overreach. This book is, again, it's a historical fiction, but it's filled with a whole lot of facts from a whole lot of different events. I checked them out as I read this book. I read this book twice now. That's how good it is. That long, and I read it twice. I checked them out as I read it the first time, got on the old internet, looked this stuff up he was talking about. It's all true. He may have had to use a little author's embellishment to give you some of the details that nobody knows, but the facts themselves and the events themselves all happened, and they were all real. If you don't get mad when you're reading this book, you probably don't care about freedom, but it's really, really a very engaging book. My son, who doesn't like to read very much, just finished this book. That's how good it is. And now, let me just give you a quick caveat about this book. If you try to go to Amazon and buy this, you're going to find prices anywhere from $80 to $100 to $200. It's kind of out of print. I say kind of because there's only one place you can get it, and they have limited printing. So when they run out, they have to wait and reprint them again. And it is about $65 there for the paperback. You can't find a hardback anymore unless you want to spend $200 or $300 on Amazon. But it is well worth it. It's kind of hard to find, so I'll put a link in the description where you can find it, probably in the comments too. But again, $65. But not only is it very interesting, but it's also very, very enlightening. I challenge you to look up some of the events in here as you go along and see that if they really did or did not happen. And man, you'll learn a lot. So that is the 3 books that I think everybody who cares about their right to keep and bear arms and also cares about being able to defend their family should own and read. Again, James Yeager, The 4 Pillars of Fighting, Clint Smith, Urban Rifle, and Unintended Consequences by John Ross. So that's it. I've read every one of these books. Like I say, I've read this one twice. I highly recommend them, and I hope this has been helpful. I really sincerely appreciate you watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.